Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, Washington. Delta Dental is on a mission. Our state has a lot to smile about, and we think those smiles should be healthy and bright. That's why we support our Cora Foundation Smilemobile. This dental office on wheels provides checkups and oral health education to communities that need it most. The Smilemobile has reached over 44,000 children and families across Washington. See how the Smilemobile is getting us closer to a 100% cavity-free state at cavityfreewa.com.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard the tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Let's go to the great state of Ohio. And I'm sorry, Ohio State. I know it's been a tough time for you.
Yeah, but they got the Browns.
Yeah, they do have the Browns. That's a good point. So there's a 60-year-old woman in Ohio. She called the cops around 1:30 a.m. on Saturday when her neighbor would not stop blasting music. The neighbor is a 40-year-old by the name of Nathan Rock.
That's not his last name.
His
last name is Nathan Rock.
I love this,
I mean,
man.
his last name's Rock, not Nathan Rock.
Yeah. My name is Nathan Rock.
Rock?
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect
R-O-C-K?
name. R-O-C-K-N, Nathan, yeah.
Nice.
That's his last name. So the cops had to come talk to him because this lady was like, dude, this is loud over there. And he was like, look, I understand, but you don't understand. I cannot turn the volume down because you can't play Led Zeppelin quietly. End quote.
And he's like, my last name's Rock. What do you want from me?
Yeah. Yeah, he was actually playing the music on his guitar, singing along. And look, even though he's working at Wendy's right now, he told the cops, he was like, hey, man, I am trying to practice as I intend on booking studio time in the near future to record an album.
Oh.
Yeah, so they were like, look, Mr. Rock, if we get more complaints, we don't care who you are, what you're going to be, we are going to have to,
So wait, so he's playing Led Zeppelin at his house. Too
Yes.
loud, right? Neighbor complains. And then when they tracked him down at Wendy's to approach him about this?
Well, he works at Wendy's. I don't
Right.
know if that's where they tracked him down, but that was part of the story for some reason. Did they actually track him down? My story doesn't say they tracked him at a Wendy's, but they happen to know that he works there. I guess that was a big part of the story because somebody maybe wanted, a Baconator? Is that what they were looking for?
Or a Frosty.
Yeah.
I mean, when a sheriff's deputy spoke with Rock at Wendy's.
Oh, so they did track him down at Wendy's.
The deputy had to go to Wendy's to go speak to him. They're like, well, where is this Nathan Rock guy? He's like, he's probably working at Wendy's. That's what he does.
That's good investigative work. And if you're a smart cop, what do? Well, we could get him at home, or could we get him at work at the Wendy's?
Oh, I'd be a corrupt cop and shake him down for some free Frosties.
Yeah, they'll see that.
Hey, look,
yeah,
this problem can go away, sir.
Yeah, you know what? Play
if
as loud
I
as you
walk
want.
away with a chocolate Frosty. Mm-hmm. Large.
Give me one of them pretzel chicken sandwiches, and you know what? I will walk away.
I hear those are pretty fantastic.
I have
to try
yet
one.
to have one myself. Mm-hmm. But I just feel like in my brain they're going to be good, even though I can't seem to find a Wendy's, or I'm never near a Wendy's when I want one.
There's one right by my house.
Okay, I'm tired of you just basically saying how great your life is because everything's by your house.
Just fancy. Name the chain food restaurant. There's probably one by my house.
I know. I understand that you live near awesomeness, okay?
You want a Chipotle? Got it.
All right.
Mod Pizza? Got it.
Don't even talk to me about that. I got to travel for all those things.
Not me.
Yeah, I mean,
They're on the way home.
Mercer Island is like, I'm sorry, but you are too cool to be on Mercer Island, so... You know, we got some French restaurants. I don't know. I can't tell you. We have 2 French places. And I'm like, really?
That's you guys for living the bougie lifestyle.
I don't want the bougie lifestyle. I would like to have a Mott Pizza right next door to me, like you do.
I do like his rationale, though. Like, you just cannot play Led Zeppelin quiet. Is there?
That's a good
I'm
logic.
trying to think of, like, the bands that, like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna have to, like, jack up the headphones when I'm listening to them. Like, yesterday I was just trying to get, like, a little home workout in, and I'm like, I need something. So I put on Biohazard, which is one of my all-time.
Oh, you can play
bands.
those guys
nice.
quiet. Yeah, those guys are meant to be played quiet.
Well, yeah, I didn't. I went with the non-string version of their music. No.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just like, as I first started, it progressively got louder and louder because I'm like, I just can't listen to this stuff quietly.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, and you know the trouble is though, if I mean that's why you get a house, because the apartment living is the one thing that you go, I cannot play my music as loud as I want to. That's the one thing that will get you into a house more than anything else. That's for me.
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, I really rue the day that I might have to move out of my house, because then I can't watch my television shows because you can't have a bass anymore. You cannot have a subwoofer in an apartment.
Well, I'm sure Sarah and Jenny Rubbers will let you live there for a little while longer.
Yeah, they're really, since it's my house, they've been really kind about that.
Yeah, dude, that was a big part when I was living in Queen Anne in an apartment. I was on the first floor, and there's only one floor above us, but that's all you need to be annoying. And the people above us, that was like part of the reason, not the only reason, but it was just like every day they were blaring Bob Marley.
Yeah.
And every day, I'm pretty sure their child was practicing like top rope splashes off of the cabinets or any furniture, because it was a constant banging. Like the kid was falling all the time. And they were constantly listening to Bob Marley, which isn't a bad thing, but all you hear is the bass, like you said. The bass is what travels. And that bass lines to some of those songs were just driving me insane.
Yeah, dude. It's frustrating because you can turn it down, really, and still that bass line still travels.
True. In fairness to them, they might not even had it that loud, but also not fairness to them. Their child was definitely jumping off of things and landing on the floor.
It was ridiculous. I mean, Bob Marley makes kids want to jump off the bed and onto everything they can. That's just part of the music.
All right, so what's a band for you? You put it on, you have to jack up the volume.
Oh, it's got to be Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I do it every time. Especially, my favorite song, "Sweet Child of Mine." As soon as that comes on, I jack it up. You can't listen to that song or anything that they do really quietly, can you? Maybe Patience, I don't know.
And that, yeah, and not to get like nerdy like music guy, but like I love "Sweet Child of Mine" for the reason of it's like it's super trebly at first because it's just guitar, so like there's no like bottom end to it just yet. So when it all kicks in and you have it on loud, it's just like, you just feel that.
Yeah.
I was going to say, BJ, don't you have to turn up all music at your age?
All right, higher, yeah.
Okay.
I'm so happy she ducked her face out of the memes for a second just to throw
And
a
I'm
little
looking at
shade.
memes.
She's still on a meme.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed.
It's
No.
like when Vicky wakes up, it's for one reason: sex or throw shade. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, I need that on a shirt.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, sex or throw shade. All right, well, since we're talking to Vicky, since she's awake, what about you? What's the one thing you can't play softly?
System of a Down.
Oh, yeah.
Every time.
Wake up.
Little makeup.
Yeah, that's another. I mean, it almost seems like you should be thrown in jail if you don't have that up high.
Agreed.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, really, when you think of every artist we have here on The Rock, are there many that we would, I mean, even The Sound of Silence by Disturbed still should be up
I
loud.
really want to crank that one.
I know, but you just feel like that should be up loud. I agree, but I can't think of too many bands that we have that you just don't want to, wah! I mean, you got to throw it up loud, baby.
So it says I can't listen to Tool quietly. Korn has to be played loud. I bet that's like the Revs pick.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I was going to say Marilyn Manson.
Manson.
Yeah, because I've been hitting some of the old stuff from him, and it's still really good, and I love to crank it.
Ooh, Rage Against the Machine. I totally agree with that texture. That's a good one. What about Joe? I'm wondering what Joe's
Can we
gonna
just say that Rev said he loves to crank it, so I'd like to isolate
Oh,
him.
stop that.
Yeah, I knew that when he house sat my house.
That's a good point.
save
Yeah,
that
Joey
for
D's. It's like, I don't know what my son really likes to listen to.
I'm torn. It's either AC/DC or Foo Fighters for me.
Oh, interesting. AC/DC, yeah, I get that. I feel like, you can't listen to those guys slow.
Oh, there's a ton of Foo Fighters songs that just sound great loud.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, these are, again, is there anything we play, really? Maybe 5 songs you could name that you go, all right, maybe you can play that low.
That's like, you know, Iron Maiden, I got to play it loud, like Slayer. Yeah, anything that's heavy metal.
Slayer's totally low. You don't play that loud. Yeah.
Oh, someone said you guys suck. I'm pregnant, and now I'm dying for a Frosty. We'll make it happen. Now's the time to do it. When you're pregnant, all bets are off. Have a Frosty for breakfast.
Those are 2 truths, by the way. We do suck, and she is pregnant. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I love people that speak the truth. Yeah, man, you get to do it when you're. If I was pregnant, dude, I would eat anything and go. You will leave me alone. You know what I mean? That's when all bets are off. That's when you get out of jail free. Go for it.
I know my wife was all worried about that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm like, you have to. That way I could do it in solidarity. That was the whole point.
That's what I never understand. Look, I get it in the long run. You don't want to go too crazy so that you can bounce back. But I feel like that is your get out of jail free card for anybody that has issues about, eating a little too crazy is for me, it's when I'm sick. When I'm sick or injured or whatever, it's like, I don't care. I'm just going to eat what I want. And if I was a person that could get pregnant, oh my God, what a blast that would be.
Oh my, I think you would want to be a woman because there's that time when your hormones go crazy during the month. Oh, I eat everything.
Dude, let's be honest. My hormones go crazy all the time anyway. I mean,
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load. Terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.
Hey, Washington. Delta Dental is on a mission. Our state has a lot to smile about, and we think those smiles should be healthy and bright. That's why we support our Cora Foundation Smilemobile. This dental office on wheels provides checkups and oral health education to communities that need it most. The Smilemobile has reached over 44,000 children and families across Washington. See how the Smilemobile is getting us closer to a 100% cavity-free state at cavityfreewa.com.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. One of my mentors in this business, Brother Weeze in Rochester, always had this great line called Snatch and Improve.
Snatch and improve.
Yeah, basically take somebody else's idea and improve it. Steve, really today is ever since you started the day by looking at gingers on adult video sites.
Well, because it's International Kiss a Ginger Day. But yeah. I thought, dude, Brother Weeze, I thought maybe it was like, find a beautiful woman and improve.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's done that too. Actually.
Right, an upgrade.
Yeah. But
I don't know.
The reason I bring this up is that there's always the age-old debate about are you stealing from somebody artistically or are you just borrowing and improving? And this just happened. The reason this is up is the TV show Friends. One of the most memorable scenes was back in their 1998 episode. Wow, it's so long ago. This is when Joey got the Thanksgiving turkey stuck on his head. Now, I've always known this was a bit from somewhere else, but not everybody was a follower of Mr. Bean like I was.
Yeah, I wasn't a hardcore Mr. Bean fan, but I mean, I watched a couple episodes here and there, and I always thought it was kind of entertaining. Not something I'd want to watch a lot of, but that scene of Mr. Bean with the turkey on his head was iconic.
Yeah.
So when I saw the Friends episode, I was like, oh, they're paying tribute to Mr. Bean.
You and I were probably very few people that knew about that. I mean, because not everybody in America at the time is watching a lot of Mr. Bean. But now there's a new documentary that aired in the UK. This is why a lot more people are aware of this. And it does indeed show that Rowan Atkinson, the star of Mr. Bean, he did that on his show, the same gag twice, as a matter of fact, before Friends did it.
When we made the Bean movie in 1996, we decided to plagiarize ourselves and use the turkey on the head joke again. And also shooting in the 90s was Friends, the famous American sitcom, and they stole the joke. And of course, when it came out in the movie, everyone said, oh, well, of course, they stole that from Friends.
Oh, that had to be frustrating for them if people were calling them out for being the thieves. And they're like, dude, we've already done this. Like, of course they can prove it, but it's still annoying that there's people out there that still probably to this day think that Mr. Bean stole it from the Friends show.
And the Mr. Bean movie was out 2 years before that episode. Like, even the second time they stole it from themselves was still before the Friends episode. But again, we Americans, you know what's up. And Richard Curtis, who co-wrote the original Mr. Bean TV show, he had never seen Friends until recently. And so he's like, what? I can't believe this is a coincidence.
I'm absolutely dazzled by the Friends thing. I only saw it the other day. I literally can't believe what happened there. Bizarre.
I hear the word dazzled.
Yeah, this is a tough one because we borrow everything from everything, and Sons of Anarchy is basically Hamlet. So when is it borrowing and changing enough that it really doesn't look like the original? Whereas, Mr. Bean got his head stuck in a turkey trying to prepare a turkey. Joey got his head stuck. That to me just seems like a blatant ripoff.
Well, he didn't get his head stuck in a turkey because he was trying to prepare a turkey. In the episode, he put it on because he wanted to scare Chandler. And he couldn't get it off.
Oh, now that's interesting. Is that enough of a change?
And then later, because they later started talking about their worst Thanksgivings, because that story got brought up, a story got brought up which made Chandler upset. And so Monica then puts a turkey on her head to make him laugh, to make him feel better.
And in all fairness, who doesn't want to put their head in a turkey?
I think a lot of us, actually. Yeah.
So you never thought of doing that? I don't know. Did Mr. Bean, is he the first ever thought of putting his head in a turkey?
I never thought of putting my head in a turkey at all. And then I saw Mr. Bean do it, and all I thought of was, how gross is that? Is his head is in a real turkey?
Yeah.
That's what I kept thinking.
Could it be that the writers for Friends were aware of that and thought it was like a funny, hey, like a nod to a show that they liked? Maybe they didn't think of it like as a stealing thing. It's more of like an influence thing.
Boy, that's a tough one for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I know what you're saying, Steve. There's paying homage.
Yeah.
And then there's, oh no, we're just taking it. And that's there's a fine line. There really, really is. And, you think of like Carlos Mencia. Everyone's calling him Mencia. He never acknowledged he got his jokes from someone else, but at the same time, what if he says, oh, I'm doing an homage to Ari Shaffir? That was his response. Here's what I know. I think people don't care as much as they used to as far as the entertaining public, like the public themselves.
Yeah.
Like Vicky, I don't think it bothers you at all.
I honestly, if they were purposely trying to steal, it comes out, they're like, yeah, we wanted to steal it or give no props or no homage or want to just say, oh, we never saw it, that we came up on this on our own, then I think that's kind of douchey. But if it's like, hey, we really love Mr. Bean and we wanted to incorporate a little Easter egg in there, then I don't really mind.
Here's the problem. We don't have, this was back before Easter eggs were really a thing. There's not been a comment by the Friends.
I grew up living a lie from Friends. This is just, I'm not happy. My whole childhood has been stolen from me.
And I feel like Easter eggs have been around forever, because if you watch Rugrats, there's a million Easter eggs for Doctor Who fans, because the people who made Rugrats love Doctor Who.
I love when you say forever, only because you've been around as long as Rugrats. There was a time before Rugrats, Vicky. I know you were a child, but forever to me would be like the 60s. For you, forever is Rugrats.
Is it possible that Friends just thought it was funny that someone's head stuck in a turkey and they didn't actually take it from anything? We hear about this. Like, what, you don't think so?
No, I'm sorry. I think that
it's a big hole. What better to put your head in?
If you're a writer and you're a person and you're supposed to come up with material for a sitcom, 24 episodes a year, you are exposing yourself to other pieces of comedy out there. Again, I'm not faulting the actors. I'm talking about the writers, the directors, the producers. Everybody's involved. Somebody's aware of Mr. Bean and then says, hey, this would be a funny bit. Nobody in America knows about Mr. Bean. Let's do this. I bet
don't know,
that's
man.
the
We're
case.
jumping to a conclusion that, there's a very good chance you're right. But on the flip side, there's also a very good chance that nobody that wrote for Friends had any idea of what Mr. Bean was about.
You put money on your side because I put money on my side. I know
put
Hollywood
$5 on it because,
Oh, I put $500 on it because I know Hollywood. Hollywood has been known to steal and do whatever they can.
Because we see that with music a lot where someone's like, oh, the Foo Fighters clearly stole that riff from this band. And you're just like, you hear it, you're like, yeah, I can understand why you would think that, but I could also understand that an artist is just putting together chords and that's just the flow of their hand. And that's probably the same way that the artist before them came up with the song. It's just naturally your hand goes in a certain direction. And I would imagine with comedy, naturally you want to put your head in a turkey.
Here's what I know about comedy, because you know music, so I can't comment to that, right. Steve. I would be ignorant. But in the world of comedy, what I know is that you didn't like to watch other comics because you would watch tons of comedy. Then all of a sudden, 5 months later, you're in your house trying to come up with something funny. And then this idea comes to you that you think is your idea, but you forget that you saw somebody do that bit on stage.
Which there's a good chance of that. Maybe someone did watch Mr. Bean. And then when the time came that they were doing a Thanksgiving episode, like, it'd be a funny prop is if Chandler put a turkey on his head or something.
Joey.
Or that too.
Yeah.
It looks like they also took inspiration from another show in that same episode, because in that episode they're talking about past Thanksgiving. Phoebe relives like her past Thanksgiving back when in like France or whatever, because she thought of a past life. Her arms get cut off or blown off and they start squirting blood, much like Dan Aykroyd's Julia Child sketch where he cuts his finger and just blood starts squirting everywhere.
Well, and I don't know which came first, that or the Monty Python and the Holy Grail, because that's what we saw when
Probably
someone's
Monty
arms.
Python.
Yeah, the Black Knight.
That itself doesn't bother me a whole lot, because that's just, okay, somebody loses an appendage and it starts squirting. You know, if you change it up enough where it's something else, I feel like, okay, you're being inspired. But when you copy the bit exactly and it's a Thanksgiving turkey and it gets stuck on your head, I don't know.
Well, I thought
that's
Mr.
a tough
Beans
one.
was Christmas turkey.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's
All right.
There's the
enough
difference.
of a change.
There
Boom.
you go.
That's how they get
Shut
you.
down.
This is where we're splitting hairs, and the bottom line is the Carlos Mencia thing. They interviewed people, and people said, we don't care if he stole it from somebody else. We think it's funny.
Right.
Which, if you're Ari Shafir, you're like, my God, this is my act. This is my life, and he's taken my stuff, and now I can't do it because people call me a thief, and it's my material. And this is why I'm not a fan of Tim Allen, because of Rich Scheidner and his Canyon Man bit, which a lot of people, don't know. But Rich Scheidner will tell you the story that Canyon Man is where Tim the Tool Man came from. And you don't even know who Rich Scheidner is, but he was a great friend of us when I worked in Rochester. He was a great comic. And boy, did that, we got pissed because we were like, wow, dude, that could be you. You could have been a big star. And
I hope you didn't say that to him, because that would probably make him even more sad.
That's Wheeze. We worked with Wheeze. Wheeze would just come out and say those things. But so I have a lot of empathy for people whose stuff gets borrowed, inspired, homaged, but they don't get any money for it. They don't get a dime for it. I don't think Rowan Atkinson and Mr. Bean have a problem, but guys like Rich Scheidner do. I don't think they've ever hit it big, like, off of their stuff.
But you started this whole conversation about how the guy that you're talking about was on your Brother Weeze show, and Brother Weeze is the guy who's saying, hey, yes, snatch and change.
I agree. Snatch and improve. You're absolutely right. Yeah, there's that fine line of hypocrisy.
It's fine unless someone takes your thing and then makes money off of it, because then you're mad.
I try to be as cool as I can be about it, because I am sensitive to that. And I try to pay homage. Like our Listeners on the Loose is something that I got from a broadcaster that I respect a lot, who I thought got fired wrongly. And when he was fired, I said, I'm going to start calling our call-in segment Listeners on the Loose, because I think his company was a bunch of jerks for firing a guy that was a great talent. And I basically go, look, I'm doing this for this reason, and this is why. This is
the first I've ever heard of that, though. And I've been
Are you sure?
100%.
Well, we did Listeners on the Loose before you got here.
No, but I never knew that was the reason behind it.
Yeah. Oh, well, and the
so what kind of tribute are you giving the guy? If up until now I had no idea, and I work with you.
Well, I don't know how many times I'm supposed to say it.
Every day for the rest of your life.
All right. Well, I'll say it every day for the rest of my life. Yeah. Okay. Well,
I had no idea that was a tribute to someone.
Yeah, and when we played, like, we would play some bits this is talking like 20 years ago. We would give Kevin and Bean credit. We go, hey, this is from a show in Los Angeles, Kevin and Bean. We got this bit. And I remember Bean contacting me. This is how we became friends. He said, I heard you played our bit and you gave us credit. What are you doing? No radio show does that. Like, we're in L.A., you're in Seattle. Nobody would ever know that it was. I said, because you did it. Why would I not give you guys credit? Funny's funny. I'm still going to get good. If I get good ratings based on it, what do I care? And I still give you guys credit. So it's a tough one, Steve. Like you said, everybody has their line.
Damn straight.
Damn straight.
And where'd you steal that from?
From Tim the Tool Man.
Tim the Tool Man.
I just saw that they had him on like his new show.
Oh, wasn't that? Yeah, it was very like Inception.
Last Man Standing.
Last Man Standing met Tim the Tool Man, and it was just kind of like the way, through the beauty of editing, it was like him hanging out with himself, but like it looked a little bit different, but just enough.
It almost made me. Oh, so it wasn't really him trying to be him, or
no? He was like the character on Last Man Standing met Tim the Tool Man, and the joke was that they're like, oh wow, you look a lot like me.
Oh, I wasn't sure if they took stuff from the old show or if he was just playing both parts.
Yeah, he was playing both parts.
Yeah, that's cool. They've gotten better with that kind of technology, so that you can actually do that. And if the actors do it, I was almost interested enough to watch the episode because I thought this is a cool idea.
Almost.
Yeah. Did anybody watch it?
No, I saw a clip and I was like, "That's cool." But,
moving on.
But I don't watch either. I'm not watching that show, so I didn't have any interest in trying to watch it. I was like, it was cool just to see the visual of it, but then I was done. I know they paid tribute to the Wilson character.
Yeah.
Yeah, the old neighbor that was behind the fence.
Didn't he pass away?
Yeah, he's passed.
So it was a nice little nod to him in the episode. I saw that clip.
Yeah. It's almost like, though, it's like we didn't care enough. That was a big show of our time, and neither one of us cared.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't care about Last Man Standing. So why would I watch the show?
Well, I thought because like they were hoping we'd care enough about Tim the Tool Man. Like
Yeah.
you didn't care about Breaking Bad, but you heard so much about it, you thought you'd troll us. There was any reason to get you to watch any one of their shows, but that didn't do it for us.
No, not enough.
Yeah,
no.
it didn't do it for me
If
either.
Pam Anderson returned, then maybe just to see what she's been up to.
Nice.
Well, see, now we know what we got. See, ladies and gentlemen, if you want Steve to watch your show,
Who's else? Who's the other Tool girl?
Oh,
Did they have
I don't
someone-
remember
I
her.
thought they had
no.
somebody else.
yeah, no, you're right. There was somebody else that ended up going on to do some stuff, but she wasn't as famous as Pamela Anderson. But she did go on to do some other stuff.
But she was awesome on the show.
Yeah, I
By
can't.
awesome, I mean,
yeah,
smoking hot.
yeah. All I keep thinking of is Rachel Barley, and I know that's not the
Rachel
right name.
Barley, our
It's the only
friend,
name
former rock girl.
Yes, it's the only name that pops in my head, but I know it's
Bikini
not her.
barista?
Hey, listen, why not? She would have been good enough to be on Tool Time.
Yeah, of course.
Do we know? Anybody find her name?
I don't think so.
No, the only one I can find right now is Pam Anderson.
Yeah, there's no one else
there's
from
a lot
the
of
cast.
I could have sworn there was another Tool girl. I
Oh,
don't know
there
what they
was.
called.
Oh, so yeah, it was Al. Al's the guy you're thinking of. He was very
Al.
sexy.
Al
He
was pretty hot.
sold those
Heidi?
beard trimmers.
Heidi was the character's name,
Yeah.
played by
Yes.
Debbie Dunning.
Oh, I don't know. I don't
okay.
know Debbie Dunning. I don't know if she's done.
Yeah,
much.
that's her.
What has she done?
She had also appeared in movies such as Dangerous Curves, Leprechaun 4, In
Skinamax.
Space, The Spiral Staircase, and Now You Know.
Steve, I have to tell you.
What, Dangerous Curve sounds like a Skinamax movie.
Yeah,
It probably
Steve,
is.
I feel like you think that hot chicks do much better in their career than you think they do, only because they're hot. Because I mean, there's nobody else on the show that did anything, but somehow you really believe they were all amazing.
Well, they were in my world. I mean,
we know what your world was.
she was in Leprechaun 4. Who else could say that?
You're right.
In space.
Yeah, that was an
Probably the
amazing-
best movie to ever come out in 1996.
Yeah, that was something.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. He's here right now and has agreed to answer more of your questions about bankruptcy. Here's a question from a listener. My house is currently in foreclosure. I've stopped making payments. What can I do to save my house?
If you're already in foreclosure behind on your mortgage, you can stop the foreclosure by filing a bankruptcy. There's different types of bankruptcy. Chapter 13 can help you catch up on your house payments if you're behind. It would mean that you'd have to start making your house payments again and catch up on the amount that you're behind over 5 years. You could also take off or strip off your second mortgage, which would help you to reduce your housing payment every month, especially once you're done with the plan and done catching up on your first mortgage. We could also try to buy you some time by filing a Chapter 13 case. Filing a Chapter 13 would definitely stop your foreclosure.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. And thanks for listening.
Spend less time in the laundry room and more time doing the things you love. Introducing the Samsung Smart Top Load Laundry Pair, now available at Lowe's. The washer's large capacity means you can fit more in every load. Plus, its super speed setting washes a full load in only 28 minutes. Shop the smart washer that will streamline laundry day, backed by Lowe's Price Promise. Based on using super speed on a normal cycle with an 8-pound load, terms apply. See Lowe's.com/price promise for details. U.S. only.